Okay, you might think it's so smart about President Obama as a televised address to the nation, but he refused. The president waited for images of slaughter to take before action. Oh, please. Find out what the results next. Time Somebody's gotta say it. This is the final closing time factor video commentary thoughts. Okay, you might think it's so smart, President Obama. And why? Because he refused to be waited for images of slaughter take before action. Oh boy. Anyways, you can't be civilized just about that. Anyways, it's me, LH Music, America's Love of Fuzzball Christian Conservative, and this is the final closing time factor video commentary thoughts. Did I say LH Music time factor? No, never mind. Anyways, all new final closing time factor video commentary thoughts for you know who. That's right. March the 29th in the year 2011. And according to the Associated Press that vigorously defends America attack in Libya, that Barack Obama has declared last Monday night that the United States intervene to prevent a slaughter of civilians that would stain the world's conscience and been betrayal of who we are as Americans, and yet ruled out targeting Muammar Gaddafi. Give us the warning that tried to oust him military would, you know who, be a huge mistake as costly as the war in Iraq. Well, guess what? Obama announces NATO would take command over the entire Libya operation this Wednesday. Oh, just one day, Wednesday, to keep his pledge to get the U.S. out and lead a leading fast. Well, but no estimate on whether the conflict might end. It costly it's despite on demands for those answers from lawmakers. Well, lawmakers, take a look and see that who knows. Well, guess what? A case in the war of Libya. Well, guess what? Obama defends. But doesn't make sense at all. Well, and that's why. But doesn't make sense at all that he declined the label. The U.S. led the campaign as war, but made an expansive case for why he believes it in the national interests of the United States and allies to use force. You want to talk about force? I give you force. Check this out from ABC News Nightline. And Nightline, and see what you think about the Force. The Force. You might think Star Wars could be the Force will be with you, but not anymore. The Force will be with you, but not anymore. You don't. Well, guess what? You'll be surprised. Take a look and watch this.
And we turn now to the president's speech itself. Hanging over this speech were the shadows of other wars and other presidencies. President Obama tonight sought not only to make it clear that Libya is not Iraq, but also that he is not President George W. Bush or even President Bill Clinton. Tonight, President Obama's goal was simple: to explain to a public skeptical about the war he's launched in Libya
what we've done, what we plan to do, and why this matters to us.
It has been 10 days since Mr. Obama ordered U.S. forces into combat in Libya. Nearly 200 Tomahawk cruise missiles launched, more than 1,600 airstrikes. And so the challenge for the president: justify this war and show Americans that the U.S. role really will be brief and limited.
The United States and the world faced a choice. Gaddafi declared he would show no mercy to his own people.
What?
He compared them to rats
You kidding
and
me?
threatened to go door to door to inflict punishment.
What punishment?
It was Muammar Gaddafi, Obama said, who was the main reason for war. He was about to launch a massacre of his own people.
It was not in our national interest to let that happen. I refused to let that happen.
And so the attack began. One question has hovered over this mission. How is it in the strategic interests of the United States to go to war in Libya? Robert Gates, Obama's own Secretary of Defense, complicated matters for his boss on ABC's This Week yesterday.
Stop. Now, you might think it's so smart about Robert Gates, Secretary Robert Gates. This is last Sunday's You Know Who. That's right. This week with Christiana Amanpour, and of course Jake Topper filling in for You Know Who, Christina Yamapour. She's on whatever it is, on assignment, whatever it is. And here's Robert Gates said this. Take a look and watch this. It may be surprising to you.
Do you think Libya posed an actual or imminent threat to the United States?
No, it was not. It was not a vital national interest to the United States, but it was an interest.
Tonight, President Obama sought to explain. He said that standing by while Gaddafi crushed the rebellion could destabilize neighboring Egypt and Tunisia and cast a shadow over the freedom movement sweeping the Arab world. But in the end, it is really a moral case the president is making for war.
Some nations may be able to turn a blind eye to atrocities in other countries.
Says who?
The United States of America is different.
Oh, God.
And as president, I refuse to wait for the images of slaughter and mass graves before taking action.
Wait a minute. How can you refuse to wait? How can you refuse to wait at a time like this? A time like this. Because you know why? Because you said in such cases, you might even invest the essence of you. Nobel's Peace Prize for his case of this war. He's justified, intervened many times. Huh. Oh God, keep going, keep on going. Oh jeez. Oh boy, I'll fix this up. Oh, don't worry, we got a few minutes. Trust me, keep on going.
The action in Libya has turned the tide. Rebel forces have now retaken all the territory they had lost to Gaddafi's troops as Allied airstrikes have grounded the dictator's planes and paved the way towards Tripoli. But that may have been the easy part. Today, the rebel advance halted before the city of Sirte, Gaddafi's hometown, where his far better equipped forces have hunkered down. And that leads to another question for the president. Is helping the rebels get rid of Gaddafi the goal?
If we tried to overthrow Gaddafi by force, our coalition would splinter. The dangers faced by our men and women in uniform would be far greater. So would the costs and our share of the responsibility for what comes next. To be blunt, we went down that road in Iraq.
And we aren't doing that again, the president said. But war has its own merciless logic, and history is littered with such declarations. The questions about Libya keep coming. Who are these rebels? Are they really pro-democracy? What happens if Gaddafi doesn't go? Could Libya's civil war drag that country into Somalia-style chaos? President Obama didn't answer those questions. Instead, he declared that our ancient values are now our vital interests as the Middle East erupts in popular and unpredictable revolutions.
We can make a difference.
Here we go.
I believe that this movement of change cannot be turned back,
Here we go, change.
and that we must stand alongside those who believe in the same core principles that have guided us through many storms.
Oh, please. Oh, please. What? Here's the bottom line. The bottom line is this. You see, the bottom line is this. This. I hope President Obama fails to explain he utterly took our nation to war without bothering to make the case to the U.S. Congress. And you might think it's left unclear is what happens to Gaddafi stays, and he raises the question to issues to Iraq and move to rid Iraq of Saddam Hussein, a war that's deeply the nation, the divine of this presidency, George W. Bush. And you might think you just said the regime changes took 8 years and domestic policy and thousands of Americans and lives thousands of lives and nearly trillion. You know, the moral story is this. That's right. The moral story is this. Is this. Obama spoke before an audience at National Defense University and not far from the White House. And he intended to speak more comfortable in such settings than far from you know who is behind this Oval Office. Oh God. This is gonna be the worst case scenario in this war of Libya, and you might think it's Gaddafi's gotta go. Ah, my living hell is to be. Ah. God, to be continued. You might think, better find out what it is next week. Which I'm back after I gotta go to after my Des Moines, Iowa, Celtic Mass trip, whatever it is, this weekend. And I was scared at the top of my dollars. So much for that thing. Anyways, don't forget to don't forget to check my website, lhmusictimefactor.weebly.com, for the LH Music Time Factor website. And so is final closing Time Factor video commentary thoughts from youtube.com, and so is facebook.com, and so is ustream.tv. At final closing Time Factor video final closing Time Factor thoughts.weebly.com. I'll do this summer. After this is over with, trust me. And if I could, trust me. Now tomorrow, you might think it's so smart about Media Matters getting rid of Fox News. Oh God. And so is George Soros, who's responsible for this crap. Found out what it is, and don't worry, I'll be back next weekend for my radio show, even if it kills me. This is going to be the worst case scenario ever, because like I said, remember, and whatever it is, that's all I can say. Trust me. When it all comes down to this, it could happen to you. Just like that. Anyways, I gotta go to bed. But I'll see you tomorrow. LH Music, America's Level Fastball Christian Conservative is signing off, and we will be the real conservative key for the real conservative answers. And don't forget, the truth of liberal media bias has no agenda. And we'll expose it. I gotta go. And I'm signing off. Good night. Time. The song and Mercury. Don't forget to Facebook me and follow me at facebook.com/LHMusicTime, and so is twitter.com/LHMusicTime. You'll be glad you did. And so is LH Music Time at facebook.com.